Okay, so in the last class we were talking about the functions of several independent variables. Okay, functions of several independent variables. So let me give you one more example of function of several independent variable. So consider this example. Fxy is equals to log of 1 minus x square minus y square. Okay, so this is a function of two independent variables x and y. So what I mean by two independent variables is like y is not dependent on x. Y can take any values, x can take any values without any dependency. Okay, y does not depends upon x or x does not depends upon y. They can take values respectively without any thing, right? So now you have to check the domain of this function. It will not give you all real numbers, or you cannot input everything. No, you cannot input everything here. Like you see, you cannot input 1 and 1, right? Because if you input 1 and 1, you just check this will be negative, and log of a negative value is not defined. So fxy is defined if, when it is defined, when the inside part is strictly greater than 0. You know the log function is defined only for positive quantity. Even it is not defined as 0. Log 0 is minus infinity, right? So fxy is defined if this is greater than 0. So just to simplify this calculation, so this implies x square plus y square is less than 1. Right, because if I send x square there, y square there, so I'll get this. So what is the domain of this function? This. That means f is a function of two independent variables, two independent variables. So f is a function of two independent variables defined on, so the domain is this D. What is the domain for all, x comma y in R2 such that x square plus y square strictly less than 1. So on this domain the function is defined. Okay, so it is not necessary that this function of several independent variables will be defined on whole of Rn, R2, R3 and so on. There is no such guarantee. It may be defined for some values of x. So here on this domain this function is defined. So this is a function of two independent variables defined on this domain. If you have any confusion, you may ask. So now we start the concept of limits. Okay, so we have done limits for functions of one variable, one independent variable, but now we will do limits of functions of several independent variables. It may be two independent variables, three independent variables, and in general n independent variables. So let me define it. So I'll first define for two. Limit of a function of two independent variables. So let me first define what is the definition for limit of a function of two independent variables. Remember, limit of a function for one independent variable is already done in your real analysis course. But now we'll do for two independent variables, three independent variables, four independent variables, and so on. Let me start by taking function of two independent variables. So let me first frame things. So I have some domain which is a subset of R2. So this D is nothing but a subset of R2, and on D the function will be defined, and f be a function from D to R. Okay, be a function of two independent variables. So I have this function defined on some domain D, and this is a function of two independent variables. Okay, good enough. Now, and let a comma b be a limit point. So I have already defined what I mean by a limit point. A comma b be a limit point of D. That means you choose a point which is the limit point of D. This may not be in the set D. This may not be in the set D, but that is the limit point of D. That means for any deleted neighborhood of AB, okay, that deleted neighborhood will definitely intersect D. You know what is the definition of a limit point. So this be a limit point of D. Good enough. Now we define like this. If you just see the definition for limit for single valued function or function of single independent variable, you see we do it in the same way. Let D be a subset of R and f be a function from D to R. Okay, and let A be the limit point of D. There the coordinates will just be A, so let A be the limit point of D. We do it in the same way. Okay, so let this be the limit point of D. A real number L is said to be a limit, or said to be, I should have the limit basically. Okay, leave it. So it's said to be a limit of f at a comma b. So this L is said to be the limit of the function at a comma b if, so same definition as you had used there, for any epsilon greater than 0, if for any epsilon greater than 0, there exists a delta positive. Okay, so for any epsilon greater than 0, there exists, I should not have delta basically here, so there exists a neighborhood n of a comma b such that, so this is the definition, such that for all x comma y in the deleted neighborhood intersection D implies modulus of fxy minus L is less than epsilon. Okay, where, what is this n dash? I'll tell you. Where n dash is n minus, this is the deleted neighborhood leaving the point a comma b. Okay, is a deleted neighborhood of a comma b. Okay, and what is n, you might be wondering. So what is n? And n may be a circular neighborhood. I've already taught you the meaning of circular neighborhoods. Circular neighborhood or rectangular neighborhood, etc. So let me explain you everything in detail again. So you see, you have to first understand the meaning of the limits of several independent variable. which is analogous to the limit of a function of single independent variable. You see, the definition that I have given, you just apply it for R, it will be more or less same. So a comma b a limit point of D. A real number L is said to be a limit of f at AB. So I'll call this L a limit of the function at AB if this is the definition. You choose any epsilon greater than 0, you can find a neighborhood of this point. You know what I mean by a neighborhood. It can be a circular neighborhood, right? So you can draw a circle around AB and the interior part is a circular neighborhood. You know that. So there will exist a neighborhood N of AB such that, you see, such that this condition is satisfied. So for all points lying in the deleted neighborhood and inside D, what do I mean by this? N dashed intersection D. It means all those points xy which are in the deleted neighborhood of AB as well as in D, because those points which are there in D as well as in N dash, I am taking those points. So for all those points in the deleted neighborhood of AB and inside D, this should happen. So for all those points, I will calculate fxy, I'll subtract L. This should be less than epsilon. Okay, so what is N dash? I have written here deleted neighborhood, and this N can be a circular neighborhood around AB, or a rectangular neighborhood around AB, or a square neighborhood around AB. Am I clear or not clear? Because I'll be using the definition to calculate limits. Remember that. I'll be using exactly this definition to calculate L. Corresponding to every epsilon, you have to find a neighborhood of AB such that for all the points in that neighborhood and in D, this should hold. This should hold. Remember that. Okay. So just that is the thing. We'll do the sums. You'll understand. So let me write few more things. So this symbolically we write this limit x tends to A, y tends to B, f of x comma y is L. Okay, or we can also write like this, or limit x comma y tends to A comma B, fxy equals to L. So these are the two symbols accepted for this symbolically representing this limits. Like you used to write limit x tends to A fx equals to L. So similarly we will follow this kind of notation, and this limit is called as simultaneous limit or double limit. Okay, so this L here, this limit value L is also called, so I have said L is said to be a limit, right? This limit can also be said like this, called double limit or simultaneous limit. Double limit or simultaneous limit of f at a comma b, of f at a comma. So this is the thing, limit of a function of n variables. Limit of a function of n variables. So you could have thought that, like, why I am doing, I could have directly done this and this should have been true for n equals to 2. like this I'm doing for n variable. This n can be two or two also, right? And I did limit of a function of two variables differently. So why did I do that differently? Just because we'll be mostly interested for limit of a function of two variables. We'll be mostly doing sums based on two variables, not beyond that. We will do very less sum beyond that. Okay. So, but let me define. The definition is exactly same what I gave you in case of two independent variables. So, let D be a subset of Rn and f be a function of several independent variables from D to R. You just write that, and so this is the function of several independent n independent variables from D to R, and you consider a limit point of the domain, and so limit point will have n many coordinates. So I'll simply write, and this, we know what is the meaning of this. A vector means it has got n many coordinates, right, in Rn. So this be a limit point of D. In the previous case for two variables, I took the form a comma b. Okay, you can also take a vector that will mean a1 comma a2. So that is up to you. So, and this be a limit point of the domain. Okay, so exactly the same definition. A real number L is said to be limit of the function at AB, limit of the function f at A if for any epsilon greater than 0 there exists a neighborhood n of a vector such that, so exactly the same thing I'm writing, such that for all, there I had written for all x comma y, right? Here my points will have n coordinates. So for all x vector, that means it has got n coordinates, x1, x2, x3, dot 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 xn. For all x belonging to deleted neighborhood of A and definitely intersection with the domain will imply modulus of fx minus L is less than epsilon. So exactly the same definition, you may just check symbolically we write like this, we write limit f, here x like this, x tends to A equals to N. So this is how we write symbolically. So before going to sums, now remember this result. This result I'll be using for proving limits. Okay, so what is this result? For any real number x, you know mod x can be written as root over of x square, right? Because what is root over of x square? Mod x. You know the definition of root over of x square. Okay, so mod x is what? Root over of x square. And this root over of x square is definitely like this root over of x square will definitely be less or equals to root over of x square plus any number here. I'll choose that any number here like this, y square, for any y over r. Did you understand my point? So I'll be using this result most of the times. Mod x is less or equals to root over of x square plus y square. So this result will be used for most of the sums. So this is number one that will be used in most of the sums. Number two that will be used in most of the sums is the triangle inequality. You know, mod of A plus B is lesser equals to mod A plus mod B. Also, mod of A minus B is lesser equals to mod A plus mod B. Right? This is same as this one only because I'm just replacing B by minus B. So this results will be used in the sums most of the times. So you just keep this in mind. Some more results like sin x is, you know this also. Number 3, mod of sin x is lesser equals to 1. Mod of cos x is lesser equals to 1. So all these things will be required in the sums while to evaluate the limit. Okay. So let me write the first problem. So here is the question. What they have said, let f of x comma y equals to x cube minus y cube by x square plus y square. This is the function of two independent variables x and y. Now you see what is the domain of this function. This function is defined for any real numbers x and y except when both are 0. You see, when both x and y are 0, the denominator becomes 0 and that is undefined. Right. So what is the domain of the function? All real numbers except 0, 0. That means you have whole R2 punctured at 0, 0. The domain is whole R2 except this point. There is a hole at the origin. Right. So this is the domain. Keep in mind. To show that this limit x comma y tends to 0 comma 0 of this function will be 0. So limit at 0, 0 is 0. Now first of all, I have to find the limit at the point 0 comma 0. So 0 comma 0 must be a limit point of the domain. So the domain is whole of R2 except 0, 0, right? The domain is whole of R2 except this one. Definitely this is the limit point in that case. Definitely that is the limit point in that case. Why? Because you take any deleted neighborhood of 0, 0, that is definitely going to intersect R2. Right? That is very simple to observe. So, how will I start? Clearly 0, 0 is the limit point is a limit point of the domain of f. Okay, domain of f, you know what is the domain of f? R2 minus 0, 0. That means what is the domain of f? As I should write here, domain of f is whole R2 except the point 0, 0. So this is very clear why this is the limit point, no? Because you take any neighborhood or any open ball around 0, 0, that is definitely going to intersect this because it has all the points except 0, 0, right? So 0, 0 is the limit point. I can find the limit. So just look at the definition. I have to choose epsilon according to me. So let epsilon be any number greater than 0, however small, but it should be positive. So corresponding to this epsilon, I have to find some neighborhood around 0, 0. Just look at the definition. For this particular epsilon that I have chosen arbitrarily, I have to find some neighborhood around 0, 0, right, such that condition holds. So let me start. So what I have to prove, remember that. We'll start like this. Now modulus of fxy minus L here I have to prove as 0. I'll start like this. Modulus of fxy minus 0. I will find all those x comma y for which this is less than epsilon. Just follow the definition. I'll find all those x comma y in some neighborhood for which this is less than epsilon. right? You see, modulus of fxy minus L here is 0. So what is this simply? This is equal to, what is the value of fxy? Fxy is this, so let me put here x cube minus y cube by x square plus y square and minus 0, no need to write. Am I clear? So this is equals to this. If you have any confusion up to here, feel free to ask. So remember, what is our aim? Our aim is to find all those x comma y in some neighborhood for which this quantity is less than epsilon. Now what I said, I'll be using so many results. Firstly, I'll be using the triangle inequality, right? Now before that, this modulus of a by b means modulus of the numerator by modulus of the denominator. But you see, the denominator is always positive. The denominator is always positive because the sum of the squares of two numbers is always a positive quantity. So no need to write modulus here. So what is my second line? Modulus of this by modulus of this. But modulus of this you don't have to write because that is always a positive quantity. Next, use the triangle inequality. What I have said, modulus of a minus b is lesser or equals to modulus of a minus modulus of b. Oh, sorry, plus, not minus. Just using the triangle inequality, modulus of a minus b is lesser or equals to modulus of a plus modulus of b. And this is exactly same as writing. This line is not lesser, but this is exactly equal. Don't forget that. So what is this? You know, this can be taken like this. Modulus of x cube can be written as mod x whole cube plus mod y whole cube by x square plus y square. You cannot write here lesser equals to because these two lines are exactly same. Clear? So this quantity is eventually lesser equals to this quantity because these two are same. So I can say this is lesser equals to this quantity. Right? Now what I had told you a few minutes back, I'll be using that result. Mod of x is lesser equals to root over of x square plus y square. I'll be using that result. I don't know what has happened to Google Meet today. It is fluctuating this much. So this is less or equals to, what is mod x? Root over of x square plus y square. So this mod x is less or equals to root over of x square whole cube, and similarly mod y is less or equals to root over of x square plus y square whole cube by x square plus y square. You may write the reason on the right hand side, since mod x comma mod y both are lesser or equals to root over of x square plus y square. Am I clear up to here? Now see here, this is the same thing. So this will be less, or let me not write less, equals to, this is what equals to same thing twice. So 2 times root over of x square plus y square whole to the power 3. That means x square plus y square whole to the power 3 by 2. I hope you can understand this. Why whole to the power 3 by 2? You know, root means power half. So this is 3 by 2, x square plus y square whole to the power 3 by 2, x square plus y square whole to the power 3 by 2, and that is 2 times. Right? So when I cancel this, I will remain with power 1 here, right? Because no, power half here. Because 3 by 2 divided by power 1. Divided by x square plus y square whole to the power 1. So, just a minute. So therefore, modulus of fxy minus 0 is eventually less or equals to 2 times root over of x square plus y square. Why root over of x square plus y square? Because in the numerator I had power 3 by 2, in the denominator I had power 1. If I subtract them, I am getting power half, and power half means root. So eventually I have got this. Now what I wanted, that this to be less than epsilon. I wanted to find all those x comma y for which this is less than epsilon. So this is less than epsilon. This is less than epsilon if this quantity is less than epsilon, right? So if 2 times root over of x square plus y square is less than epsilon. Yes or no? So this will be, this quantity is less than epsilon. If this quantity will be less than epsilon, just simplify this, or x square plus y square will be less than epsilon square by 4. Am I clear? So this can be written as, or x square plus y square is less than delta square. What is delta? Where delta equals to epsilon by 2. So delta square will be epsilon square by 4. See, I have actually found out a neighborhood of x comma y. This is the circular neighborhood, you see. So for all those x comma y lying in this circular neighborhood, this is less than epsilon. See, I wanted to find a circular neighborhood, right? I wanted to find a circular neighborhood. So I have actually found out this circular neighborhood. You give me any epsilon, I can find a delta which is equal to epsilon by 2, and whenever x comma y lies inside this circular neighborhood, so this will be less than epsilon, right? So definitely this is strictly greater than 0 because x and y are not 0, 0. You can write here. So what can I write? Thus for any epsilon greater than 0, there exists a delta. Delta is what? Nothing but epsilon by 2. There exists a delta such that for all x comma y, belonging to this set, right? Which set? X comma y, such that x square plus y square is less than delta square and actually greater than 0 also. Intersection the domain, and you know the intersection of the domain will be this only because domain does not have 0, 0. So for all x comma y in this neighborhood, this is the circular neighborhood. Okay, this is the circular neighborhood, implies modulus of fxy minus 0 is less than epsilon, right? So just by definition, this proves that limit x comma y tends to 0, 0, fxy is nothing but 0. So for any epsilon greater than 0, I wanted to find a deleted neighborhood around 0, 0. So this is the deleted neighborhood around 0, 0. I hope you can understand why this is deleted neighborhood around 0, 0. Because this actually represents a circle having center at the origin and radius delta. So I am drawing like this, right? Around, suppose this radius is delta. And this is 0, 0 is not here. So removing 0, 0. So this is the circular neighborhood of the point 0, 0. So give me any epsilon, I can find this kind of neighborhood around 0, 0 for which this condition will hold. Okay, so by the definition of the limit, this will be 0. Did you understand at least a little bit? So let me write second question, okay? So this is the next question given to us. The function is x comma y, f of x comma y, which is x sine y by x plus y sine 1 by y. You see, what can you input in this function? You cannot input those points for which the x coordinate is 0. Like you cannot input 0, 1. Why you cannot input 0, 1? Because this sine 1 by x will not be defined at 0. Right? So you cannot input 0, 1, 0, 2, 0, 3.5. You cannot input those points for which the x coordinate is 0. Also, you cannot input those points for which the y coordinate is 0. That means this time your domain is, this is whole R2. you are removing this x-axis throughout. So this x-axis is not there in your domain, and this y-axis is also not there in your domain. So leaving these two lines, everything else is in your domain. Okay, so you don't have all those points whose product is 0. You don't have all those points whose product is 0. Like for any point on the x-axis, it is of the form a comma 0. So their product will be 0. So those points will not be there in the domain, and again these points will not be there in the domain. The domain is everything except 0, 0. Again you clearly see that 0, 0 is the limit point. Why it is the limit point? Because you take any related neighborhood of 0, 0 that will intersect these quadrants other than these lines. Like this line will also they will be there, but they will intersect at other points also, right? So again I'll write here clearly 0, 0 is the limit point of the domain of the function. The domain, so remember, what is the domain of the function? R2 minus the x-axis minus the y-axis, and every other point is there. So 0, 0 is the limit point. I can talk about the limit at that point. Similarly, I'll be starting. So let epsilon be chosen greater than 0 arbitrarily, however small. So we'll start in the same manner that we did in the previous sum. We'll start from here. We'll start from modulus of fxy minus L. L here is 0. This will become modulus of x sine 1 by x plus y sine 1 by y, and minus 0 no need to write. Now you will help me to evaluate this limit. Can anybody tell me what should be my next line? So this comes will be very handy, okay? This triangle inequality and so on. Yes, Angel, you are also correct. This is less or equals to x sine 1 by x plus y sine 1 by y. So this is again less or equals to, actually not less or equals to, this is now equals to mod x mod sine 1 by x. You know, mod of AB can be written as mod A into mod B, and this is again mod y sine 1 by y. Who can tell me the next line? This is less or equals to, okay, but one more thing before doing that, what this can be firstly written like this, mod x plus mod y. Why? Since sine of any angle will be less or equals to 1. So this is less or equals to 1, this is less or equals to 1. You know, mod of sine of any angle is less or equals to 1. So this is less or equals to 1, so this will be mod x plus mod y. So this will be less or equals to mod x plus mod y. Now what Rajiv said is exactly correct. This is less or equals to root over of x square plus y square plus root over of x square plus y square. Right? You again write the reason here, since mod x is less or equals to root over of x square plus y square. This is nothing but 2 times less or equals to x square plus y square, and we are getting the same thing. We are getting the same thing. So this is less than epsilon if 0, definitely 0, less than 2 root over of x square plus y square is less than epsilon. So this quantity should be less than epsilon, and I am assuming that this quantity is greater than 0. Now again do the same thing. So or 0 less than x square plus y square less than delta, where delta equals to epsilon by 2. So for any epsilon, I have found a circular neighborhood around 0, 0 for which the things holds. So right, thus for any epsilon greater than 0, there exists a delta positive such that, right, such that x square, sorry, greater than 0, yeah, x square plus y square less than delta square, so this will be delta square, So 0 less than x square plus y square less than delta square, right, implies modulus of is less than epsilon. Actually, writing this will be incorrect. I should also write that condition. No? Just a minute. This book's also write wrong. They have written this, but I don't think so. This is correct to write. Such that for all x comma y inside this set x comma y such that 0 less than x square plus y square less than delta square intersection the domain of the function implies, so x inside this neighborhood inside the domain of the function implies fxy minus 0 is less than epsilon. So this proves that limit fx comma y at the point 0 0 is actually 0. Let's complete that. Am I clear? So let me take the third question.